start on our day now. We do now on the handout. And pull out your homework on Friday. Oh yeah, we sure did. Quiet. Oh, we need to tear it off. Okay. Two, one. All right, so today we're going to start reading our novel, The Watsons Go to Birmingham. One thing I want you all to keep in mind is that this book has a lot of sensitive topics in it and some language that may not be appropriate to use, especially not in Breakthrough. So when we come across things like this, for example, I know on like page 7 or something, it says, "Shut up, punk." I don't want none of you all to laugh. You don't have to repeat it. You just consider why the author chose those words and think about how it helps us understand the character that's saying it, okay? So let's move on. If you haven't already, I want you to open up the book that's on your desk. On the inside cover, write your name. Where? On the inside cover, write your name, summer, BCB, summer 2013, the name of teacher, Miss Cabria. Yes. Oh, so we get to keep these? That's right. And to answer your question, these books are, I know they're yours for the summer. More than likely you'll get to take them home after that. So you will be writing and annotating in these books. Okay? Okay. So remember that. Okay, give me a few more seconds. All right, so can I get all eyes up here? All right, so before we start reading a text, we like to look at, depending on what it is, maybe we like to skim the article. But since we have a book, we're gonna look at our cover and our back cover and try to shout out some, get some predictions going about what do we think is gonna happen in this book. Okay, hold on for a second. All right, so predictions. What are predictions? Predictions, I'm gonna tell you. Predictions, if you turn to the second page of your handout. Predictions are what we think will happen based on evidence or clues we have for a given text. You can write that down. Predictions are what we think will happen based on evidence or clues that we have for a given text. I'll spell evidence on the board. Everyone got it? Okay. So up underneath that, you see there's a few boxes. And what we're gonna do first is look at our front cover of our book. Can I get everyone looking at the front cover of their book? All right. So let's look at this. There's a picture of a car. There's some people on here. Little girl, little boy. So I would probably guess that this book, just judging from this, would be maybe about a family. Maybe they're going somewhere. This is a car on it. All right, so let's write some of this down. My prediction is that the story would be about a family. And the family is probably going to go somewhere because I see this car there. And the title is The Watsons Go to Birmingham, so. All right. Okay, so can I get, well, let's write for a few more seconds. All right, so let's turn to the back cover now. And on the back cover of just about like every book, there's usually like a summary of the story. So can I get Kayla to read me this summary so we can get a better idea of what the story's about?
The Watsons go to Birmingham in 1963. Christopher Paul Curtis. Enter the hilarious world of 10-year-old Kenny and his family, the Weird Watsons of Flint, Michigan. There's Mama, Dad, little sister, Joetta, Kenny, and Byron, who's 13 and officially juvenile delinquent. When Mama and Dad decide it's time for a visit to Grandma, Dad comes home with the amazing poetry lie, and the Watsons set out on a trip like no other. They're heading south. They're going to Birmingham, Alabama, toward one of the darkest moments in American history.
All right, so based on what Kayla just read us, I want you to real quick write some predictions that you have about what the book is going to be about. You can even write maybe some questions that you have based on what Kayla just read. I know I have one question. Maybe you do too. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So now that we've looked at the front and back covers, let's look at the beginning of our book. I want you guys to turn to a page that looks like this. It's a dedication page. All right, so we're gonna read this. I'm gonna read it. And I want you all to follow along. And if you all remember from Friday, our rules for annotating, we're gonna underline any important information, circle any questions, things we have questions about, and star any interesting information, okay? All right, so let's read. This book is dedicated to my parents, Dr. Herman and Leslie Lewis Curtis, who have given their children both roots and wings and encouraged us to soar. And to my sister, Sydney Eleanor Curtis, who has been unfailingly supportive, kind, and herself. All right. So let's see what Miss Cabria annotated while reading.
Can we actually write this down?
Did we just go over that? Oh. All right, so let's see. I underlined some information about, well, the fact that he dedicated this book to his parents, and that his parents gave their children both roots and wings and encouraged them to soar. So when he said soar, I was kind of wondering, like, did that mean they helped him reach his goals? So that was one of my questions I put. And then the information I underlined, I kind of summed it up. It's family support. And I think that the history of their family is important because it said the word roots. So let's make sure we're getting this down. And remember, when we annotate, not everyone's annotations will look the same. It's what information you think is important. Sometimes you'll have a question about something that Kayla doesn't have a question about. Her questions are different. So it's okay for our annotations to look different than our classmates. Bless you. All right. So let's go to, if you flip 2 pages over, the page that starts off with "in memory of." Okay. So can I get Andrea? Read this to me.
In memory of Addie Mae Collins, born April 18, 1949, died September 15, 1953. Denise McNair, born 11/17/57, died 9/15/63. Carol Robertson, born April 24, 1949, died. All these people died on the same year.
The Boston,
Let's just
Died 9/15/1963. Cynthia Wesley, born April 30, 1949, and died September 15, 1953. The tall for one day and one seat.
okay.
Oh, that's the year.
Mm-hmm. Let's hold it for our annotations. Okay, so Miss Cabria annotated a little something like this. So it says in memory of, so I was wondering how or why did they die? And another question I had was, who are they? That's an important question. Okay, and then I just made a note of how old each girl was. They were all pretty young. And like what Andrea said, they all died on the same day. So there's another note we can add.
She was the youngest one.
Now I want you all to turn to the first page of the first chapter.